Well, hello, friends. Thank you for joining us for another episode of What's Going On here at SwagHer, where we check in and find out what's going on. I am your host, Jennifer Harris, and today we have a great show for you. Before I do get into it, I do just want to share about our Black History special. This is Black History Month, and we are shining a light on change makers like you, and you. And if you are interested in being featured, be sure to drop a comment below as we get into tonight's episode. Tonight we have Dani and Dr. Moore, so let's bring them on and let's get to talking about what's going on. You ready? Here we go. Good evening. Here we go. Coming in. Good evening. Hello.
Hey, hey.
There we go. There we go. How are you both doing tonight?
Blessed. I'm blessed. God is
Awesome,
good.
awesome. Good to hear. Good to hear. Seems to be a slight delay. We do apologize there for that, friends. We're going to get it together. Here we go. But we're going to get right into it. Dani Matthews, Dr. SMarie Moore, who are you? How would you describe yourself to the audience to let them know who we have on tonight?
Shamika,
Dr. Moore, would you like to
we
start?
are lagging, and
All right. Can you hear me, Dani?
okay, so I'll start.
Yeah.
I can hear you. Yes, I am
Okay.
author Dani, aka Dani Matthews. I am a chef. I am a deacon, and I am an author. And this is a wonderful opportunity to share our story of love, healing, and it's appropriate for the time. Dr. Moore and myself are the visionary authors of this wonderful book, Echoes of Affection, Tales of Human Connection. SwagHer magazine featured me when I did my first book, Pretty Little Bastard Child. And I thought it not robbery to come back on and let you guys know what's going on. And in this stage of the game, what's going on with this administration, what's going on with the world, period. We felt it
Mhm.
was time to share something light and easy and loving and, let people know what human connection can do, and it's what's missing right now. So,
Yeah.
myself and Dr. Moore got together and brought some wonderful couples, and it's not just couples. I want you to think it's just like about lovey-dovey couples. We have,
Mhm.
excuse me, we have best friends. We have people who have influenced our life with human connection and the need for human connection and the need for understanding and empathy and all that good stuff that comes along with
Yeah. Yeah.
with love and just a connection period. So that's how the book came about.
I like that. I like that. Now, in speaking of tales of a human connection, it's funny. It made me think of Tales from the Crypt, and it's funny because I just did an interview with someone else. They were talking about tales in the media world. So when you talk of tales of human connection, are
Uh-huh.
they good stories, negative stories? Well, good stories, positive stories, struggle stories,
Well,
survival
human connection.
stories. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, you get a little bit of the struggle. You get a little bit of, what changed our world about 4 years ago,
Mhm.
COVID, and the change that happened due to COVID, the shutdown, what it did to people's mental, emotional, and physical. You get some of the old stuff, how well, hear me, but I know that the the internet connection
Yes.
is going in and out.
Mm. But yeah, so I like that. It was really big during COVID. I think people
So
had
yeah,
to
you get
learn
some,
each
you
other
get,
again.
but it's mostly a feel good book.
Okay, very nice, very nice, very nice,
Hmm.
very nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
So in this book, how many couples do you display?
Well, we have one of our couples who is probably in backstage right now. One of the couples, let me see, one, two, three, four. It's five different stories.
Okay.
Well, it's actually six different stories
Hmm.
coming from three that happened, two that happened to be couples, like married couples, and then
Hmm.
one group of people to be friends since elementary school, and the ups and downs and around. Can you imagine being friends with someone for 40 years,
That's a long time.
and still having a wonderful friendship?
Yes.
Yeah,
Hey, Dr.
yeah.
Moore.
So,
Yeah.
Hi.
we
I'm so
had
sorry
we
about
had the
that.
wonderful opportunity to bring together people who
Can you guys hear me
just have a
okay?
story of connection.
Yeah.
Yes, we can. We have a story of connection. So,
Hmm.
it's, and again, like I keep saying, it's not a book about love stories, even though there are a couple of love stories in there. It's a book
Hmm.
about connection and how that leads or can lead to love and affection and healing and all of that stuff that's missing right now in this world at this
Hmm.
time. So,
Dr. Moore was sharing about your book,
the more
Echoes
your
of
turn.
Affection, Tales of a Human Connection. What's your take on it?
Kind of the same. It's definitely about connecting with people. We live this life, we go to work, we spend time doing 1,000 things, but we all have these special connections with people that we love. Sometimes it's family, sometimes it's, God gifted you someone, and that person
Hmm.
has made a mark or impact on your life.
Hmm.
And these stories are just that. As she said, some of them are relationships, but we have some friends. There are other connections that you're going to hear about throughout the book. And it's just amazing how people are able to express themselves and share with the world their beautiful connection. And hopefully it can enlighten someone or
Hmm.
bring others closer together.
Very nice, very nice. And one more question before we bring on your extra guest that we have tonight. That connection, you said sometimes it is love, sometimes it's just that familial connection, a relationship, friendship connection. Why would you say that connection is so important for us to have, both of you?
I think definitely, connections are important because we can't go through life by ourselves, right? I know people like, oh, I was born by myself. Listen, it took other people than you just to get here. God first and foremost, your parents,
Mm-hmm.
and we need people. We thrive off relationships and being able to collaborate and communicate. And building strong foundations is critical in life in general, and especially right now with so many things going on in the world. You need some sort of support from a loved one or a friend. So connections are truly important for you to get through life, in my opinion.
Anything to add, Danny?
Just to piggyback, yes, just to piggyback off of that, coming from a place of trauma when I was younger and not knowing that I was traumatized, um, but getting to a point where, I did some healing and fell into a very dark place, and you realize that, wait a minute, I think I'm in a dangerous place here because I'm pushing myself away from people who want to connect to me, and then people, like, they, all right, you want to be by yourself, I'm gonna leave you by yourself, or I'm gonna leave you alone, or whatever the case may be. And then you realize that's not what I really wanted. I just wanted to heal, or I needed to heal. But that's also part of becoming aware of what human connection does, what it is and what it is not. And it's stories like that. that you're going to read in this book. And it's like, you're going to have aha moments like, oh, wow, maybe that's what I was going through. But again, it's a feel good, it's a smile, it's a wow, type of thing. So
thank you for sharing it, the piece of the trauma, because like all of us have had a different walk of life, right? And we've experienced some things, and sometimes we share about it, sometimes we don't share about it. But when we do share about it, we find out, one, that we're not alone. Somebody else may have survived it. Somebody else might have had some struggles with it, but we grow together when we share that story of perseverance or resiliency and things of that sort. So it's so cool to know that connection. We do need each other to survive. And as you share that story, you can get some help. So you don't have to be in that dark place. You might be there for a moment, but you don't have to be there forever. So thank you for sharing that.
Yes. Yeah. Of course.
All right, so let's bring up our guests. We have Stephen and Letitia. Woo.
Hi, y'all. Everybody.
Now, how did you get connection to this human connection of the tales of human connection?
Go ahead.
Well, first and foremost, I want to say thank you for having us on the show, Jennifer. Thank you, Dani. And thank you, Dr. Moore. We appreciate you all.
Thank you so much for having us. This has been a very wonderful and just rare experience. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, cousin Dani, and thank you, Dr. Moore, as well. And I will let my lovely wife start off.
So we got involved with this project. In a way, it was one of those things that we weren't sure if we could take on. So when we were asked to be a part of this collaboration, it was just like, can we really do this? Do we have time? Life is happening all around us. And we just wasn't too sure. And you know what? We started putting that pen to the paper and it just started flowing. And, and here we are. And that's my person.
Awesome. Did you want to share, Stephen?
And absolutely, what I admire most about this whole project of working with my beautiful one is we collaborate very well together. She's got a background in education. She likes to mentor children, and that was one of the things that I really admired and still do admire about her overall. Myself, I have a background coming from media and entertainment. So I really appreciate having a platform just to express and help people out, because our thing is this: we wrote the book from a place of healing. And if one person that sees our story can gravitate to it, can relate to it, and it brings them a sense of closure, a sense of understanding, a sense of saying, wow, I've experienced some things too. And this is where I am on my journey of life. And what's got me to that point, it makes us both feel like we've done a lot. And it's about giving back, because we're trying to make sure that we leave those that we met in a better situation than we found them in.
Ooh,
amen.
Leave those that we met in a better situation than how we found them. Drop the mic on that, right? Friends that are tuning in, if you have any questions, comments, be sure to drop them below. Now, Stephen and Letitia, how long have you guys been together?
We met in 2019. We met in 2019 and we just had our wedding last year on July 21st.
So what is that? Congratulations.
So yes, we've been together for a little bit over 5 years?
5 years now, yeah.
Dani got, she said 5. She counted for us because I was like, add 1 plus the 2. Thank you, Dani. She on it. I also like how you started it. You were sharing how you guys weren't sure if you could even do it. Like, you were presenting this project. Dr. Moore and Dani came up with this amazing idea. I'm so excited for the drop of it. But you weren't sure that you could do it because life is happening. But then when you put the pen to the paper, how it just flowed, that's pretty awesome. Like, how was it, after it started flowing, like, oh, you want to write another one?
You know what? Throughout the writing process, which was interesting because there was a lot of discussions, things that I didn't know about Stephen, things that he didn't know about me. So, you don't think about these things, the details of all of the events that have happened prior to meeting.
Mhm.
So, we speak a little bit about that in the book and just our journey. But throughout that journey, having that human connection that seems very familiar from the very
Mhm.
beginning,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
just being a spiritual walk for us, for both of us, a spiritual journey for both of us in the process, which we've never gone through with any of our past, you know, um, with anybody from our past. So this is a really unique combination that we got going on here. I think it's something special,
Mhm.
definitely spiritual. We just click. And we've learned a lot along the way about each other, but it wasn't anything that we were like, oh my God, like, in a negative way.
Mhm.
It makes us who we are,
Yeah.
and we accept that in all, forms, and I guess this is my person, and I accept his flaws. So, along the journey, from where we started up until now, and into the future still, you know,
Mhm.
I can see, I guess, the reflection of some of those things that have happened, and how
Mhm.
he copes, how he deals, how he handles things, how he handles me, how
Mhm.
he handles his family. I can see those little details, those little footprints that are there that make him unique.
And I really appreciate the fact that she's a patient, kind woman who loves unconditionally.
Thank you.
And that's real, and that's very serious, and that's very true. The word connection, for me, thinking about it as we started the writing process with this, the word connection, it's a very big word, almost like love, hate, the word if,
Mhm.
yes, and no,
Mhm.
for example, right? But
Mhm.
connection, you think about it, parent to child, sibling to sibling, friend to friend. Even if you have a family pet, for example, you are bonded and connected to that entity, and you can love it, give it life. You can also, at times, if it's not nurtured the proper way, can also make it not hurt its growth and potential. But being with this beautiful person right here, I've learned so much more about her, um, what motivates her. For example, a quick story. Every morning that I get up and I make sure she's off to work, I will always do three things. I'll send her a poem, a video, a song, some word of encouragement, a scripture to let her know that I'm affirming my love for her for that day, and I'm letting her know how important she is, and that's our connection. And throughout the course of every day, there are things that we both challenge and go through and experience, but there is still our underlying connection. You can see other people coming into our lives, but there's still our connection. And it takes a lot of trust, it takes a lot of growth, and it
Mhm.
takes a lot of love unconditionally, and what that means for us. It isn't perfect, but it's perfect for us.
Yes.
Ooh,
So a couple moments before I go to Dr. Moore and Dani, to those that are tuned in, that are listening, that are single, dear God, we see what you have done for others.
Yes, so we
Mm,
encourage, do not give up.
mm,
You can find someone that you can connect with, start off as a friendship, and
Mhm.
let it blossom naturally. Like, the high expectations, and sometimes you have to kind of just let it be and let it just kind of
Mhm.
take its course over time. Not saying you don't
Mhm.
have expectations, you do,
Yeah.
but give it some time to blossom into what it's going to blossom into. Let to see the potential of it.
Mhm.
Like, I think sometimes we hurt ourselves and we don't want this, we don't want that, and we have this checklist.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta let it go, pray on things, because it's never too late. It's never too late to
Okay,
find.
now that she's stepping on toes, we need to move forward. Let's move forward because she's stepping on toes. But
Oh,
the don't
you must
see,
be
she's
one of the
stepping on
ones
your
with the
toes.
checklist. You got the checklist. Mm. Okay, God, convict her tonight, God. You knew what
You know,
this
in
was
all
all about.
honesty, I
Wow,
did
you
have
knew
to
what it
learn
was
that.
all about, God.
I did have to
Mm-hmm.
learn that the checklist is not, leaving in God's hands. So thank you for that. But that's funny. The dopeness of what you also
Absolutely.
said for Dr. Moore and Dani, like, you came up with this idea, and to hear how it helped them to learn different things about themselves. Like, you think you can help the people that's going to read it, but those that are writing it was even impacted by it. How was it hearing that of how it helped them to grow stronger in their relationship, Dr. Moore and Dani?
It's beautiful for
Well,
me. I
I'm
mean,
just
it's
gonna
amazing.
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I'm
Uh-huh.
sorry.
Uh-huh. No,
All I
no,
have to
no.
say is
You first.
beautiful
You
and
first.
amazing. That's it. No, just beautiful and amazing because again, that like Stephen said, the word connection, it means so much. And sometimes we do take things for granted. And again, I'm like them, that checklist, I, you want everything to be right.
Yeah.
But obviously, we're all imperfect. So nothing is perfect. But when you find reasons and ways to show and express love, in your own way and it means something to you and that individual, nothing else matters. That true connection is what's key. So I just think, hearing this for me is amazing. It feels good and it lets me know that this book is going to be powerful for some people. If it touched them just writing it, just imagine the readers listening to your story and following it because they may have went through some things or maybe battling with something, but to hear a positive story and how you're working and keeping your marriage thriving by the simplest things as a poem or a good morning or anything that you choose to do, that hits home.
Yeah.
Yes, it
Right.
does.
Right.
Yes, it
And
does.
it's so funny because my person and my person is asleep because my person gets up at 1:30 in the morning to go to work. So the crazy part is people say, well, how could y'all sleep in separate rooms? But I don't have to be up at 1:15. So why should I be, disturbed? I mean, I get up early, don't get me wrong, but it works because how's the saying go? And it's an old adage that we don't use much anymore. Absent makes the what? Heart grow fonder. So, if it's not our days off or something like that, and I'm an author. A lot of stuff comes to me late at night, so I'm up. I'm on podcast. I'm on, I'm promotion. I'm, writing a script. So, I don't want to be in bed at 7:00. You know what I'm saying? I can't be in bed at 7:00. So, people would find that weird because we're married, but no, it's not weird. We're on two different schedules. So by God's grace, we have a spare room. So I kind of make this my office. I make it my room. And when I need that connection, I know what a master bedroom is. You know what I'm doing? I want to feel that rubby dub. I know what a master bedroom is, but the one thing that I want to piggyback off of what my cousins shared was, my wife and myself didn't find each other until in our 50s, and we've been married almost 8 years. So yeah, keep believing, keep working on you, because the true thing that I believe about connection is you cannot find a good it's like, okay, you got a iPhone plug and you got a Samsung plug. It ain't gonna work, right? It's not gonna fit into that port, right? But while God is working on you, God is working on that person at the same time. So when you come with this checklist, but you're perfectly imperfect, how do you expect to find a perfect person? Even with my dog came into my life. I wasn't supposed to have animals, right? And that dark time that I was telling you about, right? It was a puppy. So I had to be patient. I had to be kind. I had to express love. I had to nurture. I had to do things that I hadn't done in a very, very long time in order for us to find that connection. And now we're inseparable. That's my buddy. So when my person came into my life, my dog was like, wait a minute, hold up, what's this? Why I gotta share you? What's going on here? Who are you? Why are you in this house? But when you love something, when you invest time, energy, love, patience, kindness, when you don't show anger, you're not quick to judge, a connection will start. But it has to start with friendship. It has to start with empathy. It has to start with, not having to be understood all the time. Sometimes it's better to understand without having to be understood. because you live to be understood another day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so things like that are kind of like what you'll find in the book. It's kind of important. I'm really grateful to hear that they learned stuff about, because I learned stuff about my person too that I didn't know. You know, and they you know, she's not an author, she doesn't write, but what she wrote some stuff from the heart, and it was like, wow, you never told me that, you never shared that with me.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, when I just started writing, that's what flowed. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, Lord, write me that. You know, and sometimes, you know, a person will let you know, you know, and it's not that you do things for a person to let you know to keep score, but sometimes you know that you're doing good by other people being on. You can't see the full picture unless you back away from it, right?
Yeah.
Then you can see the whole picture. If you're up on it like this, you can't see it, right?
Yeah.
But when other people on the outside looking in and seeing some of the things that you do, the way that you treat others, the things that you do to go out of your way to be a blessing, or to be, you know, kind, or to be giving, to be understanding to others. And that thing sometimes that people let you know, wow, you know, I saw that. Wow, you know, that was kind of you, or that was nice of you. And it's just something you innately do because that's who you are. You don't always notice that this is what you're doing, and it brings other people closer to you.
Yeah.
You know.
That's good. That's good. So I have a question for all of you, because we're talking about relationships now, right? And we just celebrated Valentine's Day, Galentine's Love Day. In Philadelphia was Equal Time Day, okay? But it's something that the Stephen and Letitia said of like that a place of healing, a place of understanding, being able to talk. You just shared of understanding, to understand. And so many times we get into relationships, and because it's not going how we thought it would, or it's not going how we felt like my way or the highway, and we're like, no, I gotta compromise. Ooh, what? What are your words of wisdom to those that are so quick, or sometimes thinking of throwing in the towel, when maybe if they do have that conversation, do share the affirmation of love that can help them out? What are some words of wisdom when you feel like maybe you was ready to throw in the towel, but you said maybe not yet? What's some words of wisdom for those that are tuned in?
Patience.
Communication. Communication. Wait. I'm gonna say it again. This for the ones in the overflow room of the church, right? Communication. And more communication. For real. I'm telling you, it's like the importance of communication. But
and prayer. Don't forget prayer.
You have to right, prayer first. And sometimes you have to back away from the issue until the next day.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you have to let your partner, your person, your boo, your bae have that space for a minute. And you have to give, so you could give them grace and give yourself grace. Because at that particular time, it's not time to talk. It's time to pray. It's time to breathe. It's time to wait a minute. Hold up. I'm going for a ride. I'll be back. I'm coming back, and we're going to come back to stick a pin in it. Sometimes that's what you have to do in order to not say something that's going to make that person throw in the towel or make you throw in the towel.
Now, Stephen and Letitia, you said patience.
Yeah, communication, patience. You know, you came together as two. Yes, you're coming together as two different individuals, and you're bringing your lives together. So you have to realize he has his own thoughts. I have my own thoughts, and now you're bringing them together. So a lot of patience has to go along with that. But communication is key as well, and prayer. Like we pray together. So, you know, that's something neither one of us were doing in our previous relationships. So that is something that also, you know, that's a connection for us being on this spiritual path together as well.
And what I learned personally, though, was relationships are not a one size fits all type of situation to be in. When I first met my beautiful one, she brought out the best parts of me, and it wasn't a one size fits all where I said, you know what, this is who I am, take it or leave it or else. And I wasn't doing that. I wanted to be at my best when she was with me, when I wasn't with her, and when we were together. And how do I accomplish that? And I had friends who would say, well, you know, you work late at night on the weekends, you know, doing an event or whatever, and we usually go out and we do whatever. And I said, but I'm going home now. And that's what wanted the spirit to motivate me to change and become a better version of myself, because I can't tell my story to a friend of how I'm successful if I'm leading and not setting examples to be successful. So, and that's from the heart, and that's real. And I can admit that because I've had so many situations that were not perfect, they were not right, but I just did it anyway and thinking it would work itself out, but it didn't. And I'll say this too, this is definitely in the book, but I'll touch on it. The biggest moment of our relationship, for me at least, was when COVID was a global phenomenon and she had gotten COVID and we got through that. And it was, if you read the story about what happened with us, I still get a little bit emotional thinking about it. But because I realized that our connection was legitimate, it was real. And from the very first moment I met her, I said, wow, she's different. She's special. And that's what mattered the most. A special connection with a very special person.
Oh, thank you.
Sure. Oh, my bad.
And Dr. Moore, you also said prayer. What's your thoughts on prayer being so important?
Prayer, listen, I pray over everything, the simplest things. I truly believe that the only way to make it through anything is to have faith. And if I'm, I feel like I'm inconsistent or I have fear or something bothers me, I'm going to pray over everything. And when you have a spouse that you're willing to pray with, pray over, and pray for, there's nothing like it. Because if you guys are aligned spiritually, you can go further than you imagine. Because again, I think both of them touched on it. You open yourself up to see other sides of yourself, but see other sides of those that you love as well. Because again, Stephen said it, it's not a one size fit all, right? We are all unique in his image. He made us different, and that was intentional. So if we want to make it with someone else, we have to be intentional with our actions and with our words and, expressing ourselves. And for me, the best way is prayer. That starts off your communication, telling God, hey, I love this person. This is the person you gave me. This is what I'm going through. Help me to express it. Help me to get them to understand. But most important, I pray for patience. I pray for a calm mind before talking to people, because sometimes, in the heat of the moment, we get raspy, we get outside ourselves, and it's because there's passion there, right? But when you can't control it, you get angry and it turns to something else. So that prayer in my mind, it helps me calm myself before I go into anything else. And any clients that I have, I tell them the first thing is pray over everything before you start. When you pray, you're calm, you're at peace, and you get clarity, because at that point, you're willing to listen. You're willing to receive what's coming at you. And that clarity just gives you a clear mind. So you're not thinking one-sided. It allows you to see things from a different perspective and not just yours. And that's why prayer is so important, because it gives you that clarity that you need to push forward.
Yes, I love it. Something you said.
Well, that makes it a threefold rope, right? That's what they say, right? It's got to be a three-twined rope, right? So if it's just you and that person,
Three coil,
right, and you're not putting God in the middle, you already did what's holding y'all together. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be, that's how you braid somebody's hair. You got to have three strands, right? Three strands,
stranded
right?
coil.
So when that third strand is there, right, that's what brings it together. That's what keeps it solid. And without that, and not to say that people who are agnostic or atheists don't have relationship, okay, because they believe in something, I hope, but the blessing on having God in your life and having God in the center of your relationship is when those times come around that I want to knock you out. I just want to break your neck. I got to go through God first, right? I got to go through God first. And God is saying, no, that's not what we do today. So the importance of prayer, like before you step out your door in the morning, especially now, you better than said some prayers before you walk into your job. People go to the movies and get shot these days, right? You better said some prayers. They shoot up school. You better had said some prayers. So if it's something that you care about, it's something that you're connected to, you better pray over it and pray with it. That's how you keep it in your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Something that Steve and Letitia and Dr. Moore shared, that part of that one size fit all, right? And in this society, we have TikTok, X, Facebook, Instagram, and you see so many people like, oh, I want to be like that, and don't realize the blood, sweat, and tears that go into being like that, or how for that moment of that picture, they're like that, but when the picture keeps rolling that we can't see, it's like, is that the same people? Can we talk on the part of us not being a one size fit all and you have to do what works for you? I know you see Sue doing this. If that doesn't work for your household, I don't think you should do that. Can we talk about that just a little bit?
Well, I think for me, and if I may, it's always rough for myself and my wife, being that we're a same gender loving couple. So it's already a microscope on, who we are as people. And you say you love God, but and there's always something. But when I show people who I am, or when we show people how we love together, people always say, yeah, they are meant for each other, or whatever the case may be. Nobody can put that in place but God, right? But I will say this. If you're going to be in the public eye, be ready for the scrutiny. If you're going to be a big time author, be ready for the questions. If you're going to be the next Sherry Shepherd, people going to talk about your little gnarly toe in them sandals and watch the camera's going to pick. It's going to be something that somebody somewhere is going to pick and poke. And now that you put your life out on Front Street, believe you me, people are going to challenge what you put in that book. People are going to challenge how y'all loving each other. Oh, I bet y'all could get that. I bet y'all could get in between that. Oh, did you see what she was wearing? When you put yourself in the social media realm, everybody that come into your inbox ain't going to be for you. Everybody that comments on your page is not going to be loving. It's not going to be kind. It's going to tear you down. It's going to build you up. It's going to test your relationship. It's going to test your strength. It's going to test all of that stuff. Because just like the saying goes, oh, I want the grass on the other side because his grass is green. You don't know how much fertilizer he had to smell up his nose to make that grass green. You don't know how many times he had to cut it. You don't know how many times he had to start it over again because the fertilizer wasn't right. This wasn't right. The timing wasn't right for the plantation. All of that stuff, blah, 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 blah. But if you're willing to do the work, you can have that green grass. But be willing to do the work. Be willing to be like a duck and let stuff roll off your back, because that's the important part.
Well, I agree with you 100% about that, Cousin Dani, because I also look at it this way too. With any type of relationship you have with someone, your influence and how you influence that person and motivate them to either do things for you, with you, or not with you, or against you. So it's all on how you influence their thought, their words, and especially right now with what we have going on globally, and especially in this country with what's happening right now. There is an influence, and it's either whose side are you on, but life isn't always black or white. There are gray areas in it. And I know for myself, what I've personally experienced was the influence that this woman's had on me and making me, as I mentioned earlier, a better version of myself, and what that means for me, being present, doing something simple. And this is so cute. She had gotten, I think it's a cute story. She had a flat tire, and I got up the following day, and I wasn't around. It was like because I was away, and I got up the next morning at 6 a.m. in the morning, went to a tire shop, and got her tires. And lo and behold, we took a drive down to North Carolina for Thanksgiving. It was around the holiday season, and we had new tires, and it rained the entire time. And thank God we had new tires because on her car, it's a Jeep, and the tires, two of the tires were bald. And I'm thinking to myself, like, goodness, like my goodness, but I felt good that I was able to do that for her and influencing me as a man and as a husband, make sure I provide and take care of my family. That's what's important to me also. The little nuanced things. Because anybody can sit and say, yes, I do, and I'm this, I'm that. But actions and how you and enforce your actions or your behavior are also equally just as important.
So true. So true.
Yeah.
Letitia, Dr. Moore, anything to share on the one size fit all?
Well, you know what? In marriage land, of course, no one size fits all. We have friends that are going through things. A lot of people confide in us with, with situations. And, it's not only do we learn from their experiences, but, also, if they want advice, we will give it lightly. But, what works for one person, one couple relationship, there is no one size fits all. You might be doing something in your marriage that I'm like, that's just not for us. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. This is what you agreed upon in your covenant, then that's what you agreed upon. This is what me and my husband agreed upon. So, all you can do is their relationships, and relationships take work no matter what type of relationship, right? It is. So, just continue to keep the relationships that you're in, and, allow them to flourish. You never want to just, you want people to reach their full potential. So.
Dr. Moore, bring us home.
I love that. The only thing I would add to that is, and I'm just a straightforward person, I tell my clients all the time, what's for you is for you. When you keep everyone out of your business is your business. So you can't tell your sister, your brother, your cousin what's going on in your marriage because, again, you forgive your spouse or your person, right? But our family, they hold those grudges and that anxiety because guess what? They love you. So for me, when it comes to social media, I put out there what I want to put out there. It's all business for me. Occasionally, yes, like family stuff, but my husband and I, we have a agreement. We don't do social media. Nothing that happens. We're not posters of pictures and all this private, stuff, because guess what? It is exactly that. It's our private time. So when you take your marriage seriously and you don't give others the opportunity to engage or insert themselves, you keep away entanglements in situations that you don't need to be in. So your business is your business. And that's all I have to say is your business is your business. And again, you have to know who you are. Knowing who you are, accepting who you are, and just being who you are, that's the key to life. So when you do that for yourself and you do that for your mate, you know where your relationship is, you know where it stands, you know what can and will tear it apart. So you have to focus on your spouse and place that individual as a priority. And that's how you stay strong and you sustain a successful relationship.
And create your boundaries.
Absolutely.
You have to have boundaries.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Boundaries are important.
But that comes along with healing. That comes with healing. Because when we're not healing, or when we're not growing, or when we come from places where we never set boundaries because we didn't know that we had to, right? You have to get to that place where you learn you have a voice first off. Because especially like, okay, let's take a person who's been in an abusive relationship, right? They never had a voice. They weren't allowed to have a voice. So now let's just say, this is for instance, let's just say that you're in a relationship now where you're nurtured and you're loved and you're at a place where you are learn and people show you every day how important your voice and your input and what you have to say is. So now that gives a growth, that gives a healing place where it's like, oh, okay, I do have a voice. Well, now I know I don't like that done that way. Or now I can say, I really don't like to be tickled. Simple as that. You know what I'm saying? Like, when people are in a place where they don't know that they can speak for themselves, or they can set a boundary, or it's okay, you're not going to get yelled at, you're not going to be laughed at, you're not going to be slapped, you're not going to be whatever, then you can set a boundary. And that's even with friends that you always do stuff for, they always think that you're supposed to do stuff for them, right? And then you're like, wait a minute, but when I need a bag of groceries, I can't call on. Nah, this is what we're going to do. We're going to be friends, boo, right? But we're going to shut that down. Then you become Hagar the Horrible. You're the worst person in the world. It's like you never said yes. And that's okay. Because I'm at that place in my life where I'm good with that. You keep going what you wish. I know I got a heart of gold, but I just don't have a heart of gold for you no more, because you don't reciprocate, never. And you think I'm always supposed to do that. I ain't doing it no more. But we good. We ain't good, but we still good. But see, you got to get to the place where it's okay to not be good with certain people. Because certain people know that you always going to be good with them. And they'll take advantage of that too. So yeah, it's always about, it's about me, God, me, then others. And what I bring to the table, when you learn, right, that you okay to eat by yourself, you good. You learn how to eat by yourself. You can invite a person to have dinner with you, but you got to learn that it's okay to eat by yourself, because you know what you bring to the table. If I'm always bringing lobster and you always bring a hamburger, wait a minute, we get the wrong table.
They can't
But we really is. I got lobster, you got hamburger all the time. You got to re-examine that picture.
I got allergies. I'm allergic to it, though.
You know what I'm saying? That's okay. That's okay. Bring a piece of salmon. Bring something. Go give me the money to go buy some. Do something. But you can't always bring the hamburger and the hot dogs, man. You can't always bring the ice.
Yes.
Or you need me to bring a bag of ice on the way. That's that. You always the ice. I'm gonna start calling you the ice woman. You always. I can depend on you for the ice.
Yes. And I like that because, people have to be challenged sometimes, because they'll make that excuse, or they'll have an excuse, or it could be legit, but you still want to just pull them out of there. Like, you don't have to always bring ice. You can bring some foil, give her some eggs.
Right.
Eggs are expensive. You find something else to bring them out of there.
Hey, that part. I gave my baby 18 eggs for Valentine's Day. That's what I did. I don't need eggs, but I brought half a dozen and a half.
But what works for your house?
This flowers, chocolate, and a bear.
What works for your house? Because people be like, I ain't get no eggs. Did you ask for eggs? Did they know you want an egg? Because that comes to that communication part of being open and sharing what it is that you want. Because if we don't communicate, we'll never know what it is that you need. I always share, like, babies are the only ones that can get away with us not knowing, because all they can do is cry. They can't talk yet. So we got to figure out, do they need a diaper change? Do they need a clothing change? Are they hungry? Do they just want to be held? Or do they just want to holler? As we get older, though, we have to use our words to communicate to that person that we say we want to be in our life. Because if not, we're going to be by ourselves.
By yourself. Absolutely.
So good. This has been great. Okay. So I don't want to keep you guys forever. I mean, I could, because I love this conversation. What's something that you want those that are tuned in, or those that will tune in, to walk away with from our conversation today, from the book, from Something for Life, something just to encourage the people that tune in? Whoever wants to go first, just go around sharing something that you want the people to walk away with.
Teacher Stephen.
Go ahead. Yep.
Teacher Stephen.
First. Be your authentic self. Be your authentic self. Don't compromise it. Be you, and make the connections with others where you can truly be your genuine self.
And I would like to add to that, be your authentic self and also love unconditionally.
Mm.
Because love should never have terms, conditions, and limits on it. As long as you know that that person you're with, that you love deeply, unconditionally, with all your heart, everything will be okay.
Amen.
Amen to that.
I love that. That was just the moment right there. That was like
They need a room, but they already in their room. They ready to get up and go.
doing that too. I thought it was just me, Jennifer. I'm like, now wait a minute. That's beautiful.
Wait a minute.
And to follow that, of course, be your authentic self and love unconditionally. But I would add also, never leave your body. And what I mean by that is don't allow other people or other things to take you out of pocket from being who you are. So when you're being your authentic self, it's okay to communicate and set those boundaries, as we said earlier, and tell people where you stand. Because again, closed mouth doesn't get fed. And when we do that, that's a mental piece for us. And that's why it's important for me to say that a lot of times we hold on to things. And again, if you, Danny's story about if I'm bringing lobster and you bringing hamburger, hey, let's have a conversation. Can we swap up? Can we do something different? Because a lot of times when you don't express yourself, you have something that's building up inside of you and you're uneasy. So for me, it's never leave your body. Always be in control, be able to communicate, set those boundaries, tell people what you feel and how you feel when you have an opportunity, because time isn't on our side. So you never know, what the day will bring. So always communicate effectively.
Wow, hold up, 2 snaps up in a circle. Wait, y'all might be too young to remember 2 snaps up. Well, y'all two might be a little too young to remember that, but anyway. To back off of what everybody said, you know I'm a fool. Y'all know that. Look, I am the comedic version of the interview. Okay. Anyway, this is gonna sum everything up that was just said, and all jokes aside, say what you mean and mean what you say. But if at all possible, don't say it mean. I'm gonna say it all together. Say what you mean what you say, but don't say it mean. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because your trauma is not your fault, but your healing is your responsibility.
Absolutely.
Yes, indeed.
I just want us to say that line again. It's funny because when I was doing my research to prepare for tonight, I saw a video that you did, Danny. You said that the trauma is not your fault, but your healing is your responsibility. And it's so important. In the times that we're living in the Black and Brown community, we don't always talk about things, right? We hold it in, like Dr. Moore was saying, and we don't want to hold it in. We don't want to necessarily come out of character, but we do want to be able to speak for ourselves, advocate for ourselves, get some help from somebody. And I really try to hone in on the importance of us addressing our mental health. And though it did happen, It was not your fault, but it is your responsibility to seek some support, to go talk to somebody, to cry it out if you have to write it out if you have to, whatever it is, to help get it off of you so that you don't explode on the wrong person, that you don't explode on yourself, that you don't give up on yourself.
That part.
So I love that line of, it wasn't your fault, but it is your responsibility. And if you don't know how to get connected with some resources, I promise if you reach out to somebody, they can connect you with the right people.
Okay. And that's why it became my tagline. I'm actually in the process of getting it trademarked because it's on the back of, this is my Pretty Little Bastard Child t-shirt, and it's on the back of the t-shirts. And it's so very important because I didn't know I needed to heal. And most of us don't. We just run around bleeding all over people that didn't cut us, but then we want to pick a perfect partner, right? Yeah. To that. But you still bleeding out on people that didn't cut you. How can you pick a perfect partner? You better get some stitches. No, we're not gonna put a Band-Aid over that wound. We're gonna get some stitches. And then we're gonna get some salve, and we're going to heal a little something before you go picking anybody. Your picker is broke. Pick you.
Yeah.
Heal you. Grow
Absolutely.
you. Do some things with you. Learn what colors you like even. You ever got in a relationship and said, baby, what's your favorite color? I don't know. So how the hell you gonna get with somebody you don't even know what your favorite color is, but you want them to get you something, you want them to buy you something, you want them to. But what's your favorite color? I want to buy you something. Well, I don't know. Well, I don't know. I don't know. You don't have a favorite color, like, but that all comes with learning who you are and learning to love you and growing you and loving you. And that is where that connection can be perfectly imperfect for y'all together.
I promise I'm trying to let y'all go, but when you just said that, it also made me think of Coming to America. Whatever you like.
That part.
And we don't want to get caught up in that either. Because sometimes it's not what we like, So you could be having that lobster and be like, I really don't like the lobster though. But we could find something different. But it's, again, having that conversation and find out whatever it is. And another part you said of, people not knowing they need healing. How do you know you need healing? If you don't know what it is that you like, you need to take a moment to really evaluate who you are. What you like, what makes you happy, what makes you sad, what makes you irritated, what makes you feel like you have to go there and you don't want to go there, but you're ready to go there, So really take those moments to really find out who you are. And if something keeps happening and it bothers you, we need healing in that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because that means it's opening up a wound again that we try to bandage together, but then all the way heal. We want to make sure that we are doing those things. This was so good.
I'm
so
glad.
good.
I'm glad. That's what the book is for, Jennifer. That's what we want people to take away from the book.
March 1st.
March the 1st.
Yeah.
Friends, y'all be sure to follow Dani and Dr. Moore. Dani is on Instagram as authordani.d3. And Dr. Moore is on Instagram as I am SMarie Moore, so that you can get this book when it drops. Save up your coins. March 1st will be here before we know it. And this is something that you want to add to your collection because it sounds like it's powerful. Just hearing from Stephen and Letitia sharing of how it helped them to continue to grow a stronger bond. That means their bond was already stronger. It got stronger. So let's read it so we can find out how we could get a stronger bond. But again, what works for you in getting that strong bond.
That part.
I agree.
So good. I thank you again so much for joining us.
Keep
us posted for March 1st so that we can get a book and keep on writing.
And it'll be on Amazon. It will be on Amazon and it'll be on lulu.com. So those are the two major places. And of course, when you see us, we'll have it.
And where are you located?
Well, I'm in Delaware, so that's my main hub, but I'm all over. Anyway, you liable to see me in Holland Lulu. Matter of fact, I was in Hawaii a couple months ago. But I'm originally from New York, but I'm all over. Look, I was down doing a book launch down in Atlanta. That's where Dr. Moore is.
Very nice. So friends, either way, when you go online, it will get mailed to you, shipped to you. So there's nothing that can stop it from getting to you. All right. We want to be able to support small Black businesses, support our Black authors because they're doing some great things, trying to come from a place of healing. That was really, really good when you guys said that. And giving back. I gotta find out. I missed it. I wrote some of it. I'd like to take notes. I gotta go get that line again because you're like giving back. You remember what you said? It was Stephen and Letitia.
Oh.
On which part?
The part of giving back.
Giving back to
that's part of it.
No, as far as giving back to loving unconditionally and giving back to people who really deserve it.
Yeah.
Your heart and you deserve it. So yeah.
I love it. I'm watching it again. Don't worry about it. I'm watching it. Takes more. This was a good time. I won't lie. I was like, I am so tired, but I got on here talking to y'all. God woke me up. Now I'm gonna be up for a while, but it's okay. I hope you guys
You felt the love. You felt the love. Yes. See that human connection. You needed that human connection, girl. That's what it was.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Until I got to get up in the morning. But nevertheless, I thank you so much for joining us tonight.
I got to get up at 3:45. I don't think you have to get up as early as me. So. I don't think.
I don't.
While y'all still snoring, farting, and slobbing, I will be clocked in at work.
You know what? Well, let us not hold juices. We're going to be snoring. It's not, you know. This was so good. Friends, be sure to follow our guests on today. Stephen and Letitia, I didn't have your information, but if you drop it in the comments so people can connect with you as well to hear more of your story and what it is that you're doing, it'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for putting a pen to the paper to be transparent and vulnerable with some people that can help them to keep on living this thing called life, because life be lifing. And from your stories, I do pray that they are encouraged to keep on going a little bit longer, knowing that if you can make it, they can make it too.
Absolutely.
I thank y'all so much. May y'all have a great evening.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Jennifer.
I hope that you guys enjoyed the amazingness of tonight. I really had a good time. When I tell you I was sleepy, I was, and now I'm wide awake. And I love it though, because I'm rejuvenated. You know, that connection gives you some strength where you don't want to give up. You want to keep on going. And I am excited for what's to come for our guests on tonight and their relationships and how they're sharing with others. But you guys make sure you do try to get a copy of that book. It's going to be good. It is called, let me go back to my notes. It is called Echoes of Affection, Tales of a Human Connection. So it's going to be really, really good. So y'all be sure to check it out. Don't forget, this is Black History Month, and SwagHer magazine is on a Black History special. Why? Because we want to shine the light on Black change makers like you. And if you're interested, please just drop a comment below, and we'll be sure to get in contact with you so that you too can be interviewed. You too can share what's going on in your community and what it is that you're doing to inspire the world. Why? Because your story matters. And again, if you're interested, just drop a comment below. We got you. Again, we thank you so much for joining us on tonight. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. We're everywhere. Just Google us. We will come up, okay? We have an amazing online magazine, and magazine that could be in your hand as well. So please continue to support us. We appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in, for liking, for following, and coming back again. So until next time, you have an amazing day. And guess what? That human connection is important. You grab hold to your connection and don't let go. Until next time, bye-bye.